Pisces, welcome to the realm of astrology. This is your monthly horoscope overview for the month of October 2021. But before we begin, I request you to hit the subscribe button and the bell icon so that you can be notified every time I post a video. And Pisces, I also do daily video horoscopes and weekly video horoscopes that you can watch on my YouTube channel. So as we enter the month of October, Pisces, a lot of planets are retrograde, right? We have Neptune, Chiron, Uranus, Jupiter, Saturn, Pluto, and Mercury all retrograde. And retrogrades are a period of review. The forward movement does slow down during retrograde. So as we enter October, it's a very slow energy. And Mercury retrogrades are really not the best time to sign new contracts, start new things. And communication does slow down during these times. So as we enter October, just be mindful that Mercury is retrograde and will be till October 18th. That being said, let's talk about the first important thing. But before that, this reading is for Pisces rising and Pisces sun. I would recommend watching your rising sign and then your sun sign. And another thing, Pisces, speaking of retrogrades, a lot of the planets will start to come out of retrograde in the month of October. And that means that the forward movement that has been slowing down since April will begin again. With the Pluto retrograde on April 27th, things began to slow down. One by one, the planets started to go retrograde. Pluto, Saturn, Jupiter, Neptune, Uranus, Chiron, Mercury. So it became slow, slower, slowest. And so as we enter October, things are very, very slow. But things will start to pick up because starting October 6th, the planets will begin to go direct. The active creation of karma begins again. The forward movement begins again. So let's talk about it. And the first important thing, Pisces, happens on October 6th, and that is the new moon in Libra at 13 degrees, which puts it in your 8th house. Now, a new moon is a moment where we seed something. We seed something that we will work on for the next 28, 30 days, for the next lunar month. And for you, that something is connected to the 8th house. And the 8th house is a lot of things, a lot of abstract things as well. It's the hidden, it's the occult, it's intimate relationships, it's investments, it's regeneration, it's healing, it's endings, it's beginnings, it's catharsis. So it could be something you're seeding at this point. It could very well, for example, it could very well be something like you begin to release certain things that are buried in you. Or you start a new intimate relationship, or you start something when it comes to investments, anything connected to the 8th house. And on the same day, we have Pluto going direct. Now, Pluto is the planet of our subconscious, of our psychology. It rules our fears and obsessions and control issues and all those things. And Pluto wants us to transform. And Pluto has been in your 11th house for many, many years. And that's another thing, Pisces. If you want to know the long-term energies for you, planets like Pluto, Saturn, Jupiter, and where they've been and where they will be till 2023, you can watch my long-term energy video, which is already on YouTube for your sign. That being said, coming back to Pluto, Pluto is the planet of our psychology and it demands total transformation. And for you, it's been transforming you and your 11th house. So it could be that you are being transformed by Pluto through matters of the 11th house, such as the groups that you belong to, the acquaintances that you keep, your hopes, goals, and dreams, science, tech, and innovation, and activism. And since April, Pluto retrograde, the active work in that area, the active transformation slowed down. It was more of a review of the work that you already put in before April. It was a karmic time. It was a moment where you started to receive things for the work that you put in before April. But now Pluto will go direct again, and the active work in that area of your life, asking you to transform through your social circle, hopes, goals, and dreams, science, tech, innovation, will begin again. And then on October 7th, Pisces, we have Venus changing signs. Now, Venus is a benefic. It gives gifts and blessings. And up till October 7th, it's been in your 9th house, giving you gifts and blessings connected to the 9th house, or even making you more receptive to those areas of higher education, foreign travel, wisdom, knowledge, publishing, all the 9th house things. So it could be that Could be Pisces, that Venus came in your ninth house, gave you gifts and blessings connected to maybe higher education. Maybe you wanted to learn something and that wasn't happening, but Venus came in and made it possible. Things like that. And now on October 7th, it is going to go into your 10th house and give you gifts and blessings and even make you more receptive to your career, to business. So it could be that you start to focus more on your career, or you receive certain blessings connected to your business, things like that. And then on October 10th, we have another planet going direct. Now, this time it's Saturn. Saturn has been retrograde for a few months now, and Saturn is the planet of hard work and decisions and discipline. And wherever it is, it wants to put that house in order. And for you, Saturn's been in your 12th house. Now, Saturn's been in your 12th house for good since December of 2020 and will be till 2023. And Saturn's asking you to work hard towards your subconscious mind, towards closing out the past of about 28-30 years, Pisces, and towards changing up your spirituality or putting that in order. And if drugs, delusions, addictions, depression apply to you, then the Saturn will work on those as well. And for a few months, that active work slowed down. It was more of a review process in these areas of your life. It was more of a time where you received the rewards for the work you put in before Saturn was retrograde. But now Saturn goes direct, and the active work in closing out the past of 28-30 years in your subconscious, in your spirituality, whether that's a spiritual practice or just your spirituality, and drugs, delusions, addictions, depression, if that applies to you, begins again. And then on October 12th, Pisces, we have the first quarter square of the moon. Now, this is a point where the sun and the moon make their first 90-degree angle. And this whole week, starting on October 12th till October 20th, is about making adjustments connected to the new beginning you had on October 6th in your 8th house. So this week, any obstacles that you might face connected to that beginning in your 8th house, you'll overcome. So for example, maybe on October 6th, you said, hey, I need to release these emotions. And then with the first quarter square on October 12th, for the whole week, you say, I want to release these emotions, but what steps can I take to release them? So that could be an example of what you might go through. But then again, 8th house has so many things. It could be any one of these things connected to the 8th house that you work on. And then on October 18th, we have another planet going direct, and this time it's Jupiter. Now, Jupiter is the most benefic planet. It is the planet that brings with it healing and rewards and gifts and even lessons. And Jupiter retrogrades are a period when the rewards slow down. It's more of a review process. Even the lessons slow down. It's a moment where we say, okay, I learned that lesson, or I should have learned that lesson. But now Jupiter is going to go direct again, and the blessings and the rewards and even the lessons connected to your 12th house of closing out the past, your subconscious mind, spirituality, all these 12th house things, drugs, delusions, addictions, depression, will begin again. So it could be that you receive a blessing when it comes to your spirituality, or it could be that you learn a lesson in closing out your past of 28 years or so, right? So that's October 18th. And on the same day, Pisces, Mercury comes out of retrograde. Now, Mercury retrograde, apart from being a period where communication slows down, gadgets can malfunction, and it's not the best time to sign new contracts or start new things. For you specifically, it was a review process in your 8th house of intimate relationships, investments, hidden things, occult things, personal karmic matters, closing out emotions, healing yourself, endings and beginnings. So that was what Mercury retrograde asked you to review. And now Mercury goes direct on October 18th, and the forward movement in that area of your life will begin again. And moving on to October 20th, we have the full moon in Aries, which is going to happen at 27 degrees of Aries, which puts it in your 2nd and 8th house axis. Now, full moons are a point of clarity, a point of culmination and completions. And for you, this full moon is going to highlight your 2nd house and 8th house. So it's going to highlight your material possessions, your self-worth, values, skills, how you feel about yourself on one hand, and the 8th house, intimate relationships, investments, hidden things, occult things, personal karma on the other hand. This full moon will also help you understand what you started on October 6th with the new moon in Libra. But more importantly, This full moon will help you understand the new energy that came into all our lives with the new moon in Aries in the month of April 2021. So in the month of April 2021, with the new moon in Aries, a new energy came in. And this full moon will help you understand that, or will help you say, okay, I started that back in April and now I see it better. I see where this is going now. Or, okay, my life started to change in April in this way. I see it now. I see it better. So that's the energy. And then on October 23rd, the sun is going to enter the sign of Scorpio, your ninth house. Up until October 23rd, the sun is going to highlight and illuminate your eighth house of investments, intimate relationships, endings, beginnings, closing out your emotions, releasing them, occult things, hidden things, all eighth house things. That's what's going to be highlighted. And then on October 23rd, for the next 30 days, the sun is going to illuminate and highlight your ninth house. Higher education, foreign travel, knowledge, wisdom, publishing, all ninth house things. Belief systems, that's what the sun is going to highlight for you. And then on October 28th, Pisces, we have the last quarter square of the moon. Now this is a point where the sun and the moon make their last 90-degree angle before the new moon on November 4th. And this whole week till November 4th is about release and letting go of what? Of the new beginning or whatever you seeded on October 6th, connected to your 8th house of intimate relationships, personal karmic matters, investments, endings, beginnings, catharsis, personal karma, occult things, hidden things. So whatever you seeded connected to the 8th house on October 6th, this week you're assessing what stays with me, what goes, what can come with me to the next lunar month starting on November 4th. So essentially this whole week is about an emotional release, a subconscious release. And then on October 30th, Pisces, we have Mars entering the sign of Scorpio. Now Mars is an energizer. It re-energizes and reinvigorates any part of the chart it's in. And up until October 30th, it's in your 8th house, re-energizing and reinvigorating your 8th house of occult things, hidden things, investments, intimate relationships, endings, beginnings, catharsis. So for example, it could, and Mars enters a particular sign almost after 2 years, which means a particular house almost after 2 years. So it could be that in the past year and a half or more, maybe you didn't want to be in an intimate relationship, but Mars comes in and says, hey, time to make it happen. So it could be something like that. Or maybe you were working on certain investments about 2 years ago and somehow that stopped. So Mars may come in and say, you used to work on that. Why aren't you doing it anymore? Let's start investing again. So Mars is where the action will be. And for you, up until October 30th, the action's in your 8th house. And it's an energy that revitalizes, that re-energizes. And then on October 30th, the action will shift into your 9th house. Higher education, foreign travel, knowledge, wisdom, belief system. So for example, if you wanted to take a trip abroad, right? And for the past 2 years, you've said, okay, I don't know, it's not happening. Mars may come in and say, hey, let's make it happen. Let's take steps. Let's make it happen. Let's make this trip happen for you. Or maybe you wanted to pursue a higher education degree. But past 2 years you said, okay, you know what? Right now is not the time. But Mars may come in and now and say, hey, start prepping again. Let's make this degree happen for you. So things like that. And that's pretty much it, Pisces. And to sum it up, I would say that there's a lot of energy in your 8th house. A lot of energy in a house that can be a lot of things. It can be intimate relationships, investments, just ending things, just catharsis or personal karma in some ways. So a lot of energy in your 8th house. And you're also in a very powerful way ending the past of 28, 30 years because Saturn is in your 12th house. Well, anyway, we won't go into that in detail in this video. If you are interested, then you can watch the long-term video, which is already on my channel for your sign. And that being said, October is a month where the forward movement will start to pick up again. Okay, because the planets, as you've seen, will start to go direct again. And since April, it's been a slowdown in energy. And as we enter October, it's at its extreme slowest for the first 5 days or so. And then it starts to pick up. So that's all I'm going to say for you. I will pick a card for you, Pisces, and then we'll close out the reading. Go with the top card. Fear. I realize that I'm testing my resolve to live in the energy of love, and I think Pisces, this month the lesson for you is to get rid of any fears that are holding you back. We had a full moon in your sign Pisces on September 20th, and as we enter October, we are in the full moon energy, right? Till the new moon at least. And that energy, the full moon in Pisces energy, was all about surrender and letting go of fear and pain buried deep in our subconscious. So, Pisces, if you are scared, because yes, things have been closing out for you, right? With Saturn in your 12th house, in a very powerful way, you're closing out the past of many, many, many years. And if you're scared of stepping into the new, don't be. Don't be. Because that is what will prevent you from entering into a higher energy, the energy of love. So the lesson for you is to get rid of fear in a very powerful way. Let's pick one more for you. To be fair. I think this month, Pisces, you need to be fair to yourself. Yeah, I think this month, the whole energy is to be fair to yourself. Yeah. And with so much energy in Libra, I'm not surprised this card came up. Libra is the scales. Libra is weighing things out. So if you are weighing things out, if you are in the process of deciding things, then maybe take a decision that is fair to you as well. So that's all I'm going to say. I hope you have a great month, Pisces, and I will see you in one of my other videos. Bye.